So let me take just a brief moment to explain what's happening here. In Drupal, there are two types of files, managed and unmanaged. The managed files are associated with pieces of content or various uses throughout the site, and there are counters for each use of a file. So for example, we're using fill.jpg for our fill guide page, but let's say we want to use this asset for another page or another node. If we wanted to do that, and we were using a managed file, we could then up the count of the uses for that file so that when the file gets deleted, and I'm using quotes, deleted from a particular piece of content, then that count goes down. And as long as there is some count for the file itself won't be deleted. The media module integrates with this managed file system to make sure that if we're using media in various locations on the site, that it gets tracked so that if we remove a reference to the data from one piece of content, it lowers the count of the number of times that we're using the content to make sure that we don't inadvertently delete it while we're still using it in some other context. So that's all about managed files, and then unmanaged files are files that don't have that counter, that we can still use in Drupal, but we don't have that security of removing a reference to a piece of media and knowing that that media will stay if it's being used in some other way. If any of that sounds confusing, don't worry. You'll learn more about it as your needs grow for working with media.